Oh, hey everybody. Alright, so here I am. I said I'd show up at some point in time. This is some point in time. Today I want to talk to you about divine guidance. I want to talk to you about divine messages. I want to talk to you about divine protection. And hey, nice to see you. And among all these things, I want to talk to you about, like, have you been ignoring your divine guidance? Have you been divinely protected and not even realized it? Have you been led to some sort of divine inspiration only to turn your back on it and not pay attention to it? These are things that happen to people, and they happen to people all the time. Hi everybody, thank you so much for being here. I am screen recording it, so hopefully I will put it on YouTube afterwards, but we'll see. I'm glad you're here, because you never know. Sometimes I'm able to save them, sometimes I'm not. That's just how it goes. So I do have lots of notes today. I want to talk about a lot of different things. If you've been following me over the years, there's a chance you might hear one of these stories again that you've heard before, but there's a chance that you've never heard any of them also. I want to start off, I think, with talking about a couple times where divine intervention took place that it really helped save me in a few different ways. And then we're going to go into divine inspiration, divine timing, and divine messages, and how we can kind of harness those, listen up a little bit more, understand when they're for us, and get the benefits of those. Because we do have our ancestors and our spirit guides talking to us at all points in time, but if we're listening, that's the big deal, right? So, an example real quick of something that... well, first of all, divine timing is almost never matching our time, okay? It almost never happens when we want it to happen. Divine timing means it's when divinity chooses. It means when God or the universe chooses to make something happen. So divine timing could come months, weeks, years after what we wish would happen, or it could never come at all, depending on what the thing is. Like, what if you're looking for a union between two people? That may never happen, right? And you could think, well, man, God really, did a number on me by not giving me that partner. But little did you know, had you been with that partner, maybe you would have suffered an abuse. Maybe there would have been nothing but tragedy in your guys' life. Maybe it would have been all hardship. It wouldn't have been as good as you would have thought. It looks like, perfect fruit, but if you would have taken a bite, you would have been like, oh, that fruit's rotten on the inside. So the divine timing on that was to never happen, right? But then divine timing could also be, you've got to go to a concert, right? And you're excited and you're happy and your friends are ready and you have your tickets and you look all cute and you got your money for your food and your beer and your whatever, and you're going to go to this concert and you're going to have a great time. But the Uber doesn't show up. Okay? And now you have no ride. And now you're thinking, oh shit, I'm late. I'm gonna be late to the concert. This is no good, whatever. So you last minute call a friend. The friend is like, cool. They come and pick you up. They take you to the concert. But you find out there was a pileup on the freeway. And had you gone in your Uber and gotten on the freeway on time, you would have been in that pileup. And you would have never made it to the concert. You would have been dead. Those are things that have literally happened to me in my life. Another thing about divine timing is even if it doesn't happen at all, it's not going to not happen and then you're just left there with your ass in the wind. If God or the universe decides that you're not to have something, it will replace that something that you're not to have with something that you are to have. That's better. That's actually better for you, that you would actually benefit better from, that you would have a better life with if you even had it. And afterwards, that's why they say hindsight's always 20/20, because it's not until after the time has passed that you can look back and be like, if I had gotten that job, I'd be miserable right now. Or if I had been with that girl or with that guy, I would be miserable right now. But instead, you're like living a different life, getting to see all these experiences and things that you wouldn't have gotten if you had gotten what you thought you wanted in the first place. So that's kind of what divine timing is. Divine timing basically means you don't get it when you want to get it, and maybe it'll show up and maybe it won't, but it's always on their timing. It's not on your timing. But regardless of if you do get it or not, on your time or not, know that it's for the best, that divine timing is basically the universe's way of shielding you or protecting you from something that you're not supposed to have. It's its way of saying, don't touch that, that's hot. And you're like a little kid, you're like, oh, is it? Ow, it's hot. And the universe was like, I told you. So that's what basically that's trying to say. Okay, and I might bounce back and forth, and if you guys have any kind of questions, please hit them down there. I will read them and I will get to them as I can. So I got saved one time by my friend Spam. And this is an act of divine timing and divine inspiration. She was randomly inspired to drive down this back road in Sanger that was not even going the direction she was supposed to go, that was not even heading towards her house, and where she should have been was at my art show, but she thought my art show was the next day. So she was divinely inspired to go down this road she had never driven down, and ran across me, and I had been the victim of serious domestic abuse, and long story short, he had tried to murder me, and he had left me there. And so anyway, she randomly drove down this road and found me and found him, pulled him out of the driveway because he had tried to lay in the middle of the road to off himself after unsuccessfully offing me, because it was going to be like a twofer for him. Well, anyways, and the only reason I know any of that's true is because apparently I was a missing person for 3 days after, and when I did talk to the cops, they told me that he had told them he for sure killed me, he just didn't know what he did with my body, because I guess he'd been planning on killing me for like a long time, and there was so much blood all over the car, and my purse was still there, and my shoes were still there, so they just figured, oh yeah, he for sure killed her, we just don't know what he did with it. Well, anyways, divine guidance sent Spam down that road, random road, and had her stop and pull over, and it was me who she ended up getting to save. So that was kind of crazy. I had a little blue jay one time, and his name was Francois, and I had raised him from a little chick, and I had him sitting on my shoulder. I'm outside, and it's like a sunny, beautiful day, and I get this thought, this urge almost, and it says, you need to step underneath the awning. And I'm looking around, and I'm thinking, why? And it says, step under the awning. Like, kind of sternly, right? And I'm like, but I'm questioning it as I'm simultaneously stepping under the awning. And right as I was going to be like, what the fuck do I need to step underneath the awning for again, right? This giant gust of wind goes, whoosh, all these leaves, all this shit goes blowing right into my pool. At the time we had a pool. If I had been standing where I was standing, for sure little baby Francois would have been fucking blown into the pool and probably drowned. He probably would have drowned. It probably would have been over in 10 seconds. They're so delicate. So that was another thing. That was God trying to inspire me. Hey, step underneath the awning. Now, I questioned it at first. I thought, well, why am I stepping underneath the awning? You know, because it isn't my thought. It's a thought in my head. It's a thought that I'm hearing. It's a thought that I'm feeling and sensing. It's something that I'm all of a sudden perceiving. Like, I need to step underneath this awning. But there's no reason for me to. That's God's inspiration. That's divine inspiration. It's literally the word coming to you and saying, hey, this is for your own good. You need to do this thing. It's not for me to understand why. It's up for me to listen. Okay. A really, really cool thing. So last night my friend randomly told me that Fresh Yes was a thing. So I was like, I didn't even know it was a thing, but let's go, right? I wanted exactly one beer. I thought it'd be cool if Robbie and I had exactly like one beer, walked around, maybe got some food, and then bounced, and it'd be a cool little time, right? We show up. The second we show up, this man and his wife was like, here, would you guys like a beer ticket each? And we were like, oh, thank you so much, right? The line to the beer tickets was forever. If we had stood in line, we would have stood in line for a half hour for one beer, right? Instead, we just got our little ticket. We got to walk right up, grab our little beer, walk around, eat our little food. To me, that was a way that the universe is like basically instantly giving you a little bit of recognition. They're like, okay, you would like something. Here's that something right away. Yes, we had the money to buy our beer ticket. That's not the point. The point is that we were on the right path. We looked at each other. We decided what we wanted to do. We were on a certain path and a certain mission, on a certain vibe, on a certain frequency. And the universe was like, you know what? I'm going to help you fulfill that. And I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to give you what you're asking for free. So those guys literally walked up to us, gave us their ticket, walked away. That was super cool. Saved us $20 basically, right? So then we're walking around doing our thing. We're having a great time. We're dancing. As we're dancing and having a good time, and it's pouring rain, by the way, the whole time this is happening, other people are catching our vibe. They're dancing. They're having a good time. What do we end up seeing? Beautiful double rainbow. Full arch double rainbow. What is that? Those are signs to me from God that we're on the right path. It's basically saying, look, I am aligned with what I want, and therefore I get what I want. Now, am I always aligned? No. And the universe will be really quick to tell you when you're not being in alignment. One time, and this was a million years ago now, but it was during Thanksgiving, I had eaten Thanksgiving. We were about to leave. Something told me make a plate of food. Now, I was going to a house that's also had food. So I was thinking, well, why do I need to make a plate of food? There's food here. There's food at home. I don't really need the food. But again, I heard that's little voice in my head, it said make a plate of food. It was very specific. It wanted 3 rolls. It wanted a big pile of turkey, a big pile of ham. It wanted all the vegetables. It wanted all the sides. And it told me to take a knife and a fork and a napkin. Now, I listened, except I only got 2 rolls. I didn't get 3 because I'm thinking, I'm fat enough. I don't need another 3rd roll. I'll have 2. That's fine. I don't need 3. And I didn't take the plate, or I didn't take the fork and the knife and the napkin because I'm thinking we have them at home. I don't need them. On the way home, we are almost to our house, maybe 2 blocks from our house. This is an old Tower District back when I lived back there. We're pulling up, and there's an old lady. I'm talking old lady, okay? Like walker, like hunched over, like gray hair, sweater, nice old lady, digging in the trash. It's lightly raining outside. It's foggy and cold. She's digging in the trash. And I just get this feeling in my stomach that food is for her. And I'm like, fuck. So Spam turns around. We drive back. I get out and I'm like, excuse me, miss. I don't know if you'd want this. It's not much. It's just this and this and this. But would you like some food? She's like, oh, I would love some food. I'm literally digging in the trash for food because I'm so hungry. And I was like, oh my God. And I still beat myself up about that to this day. And somebody would be like, well, why are you beating yourself up? You did the right thing. You got the lady the food. But I didn't listen all the way. If I had listened all the way, she would have had a fork and a knife and a napkin. She could have had the other piece of bread and made little sandwiches. But that was divine inspiration telling me, you're going to come across somebody and this person's going to need this. So instead of me neglecting, those thoughts and saying, oh no, I don't need any food because I'm full, I went ahead and went against my own restrictions and said, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and take it. But my own bias, thinking that this was for me, kept me from seeing the true picture that I was going to run into somebody who was going to need help. And that was a test for me. And I do believe we come across these tests all the time. Often when we're in Vegas, I will get a random feeling and I'll turn around and I'll see just like a pair of feet tuck into a wall or tuck in behind a bush or something, and I'll walk up to them and they'll never ask me for anything, and I will give them $20, and every time they're like, thank you so much, why are you always so kind? And they always act like we met before, and we haven't fucking met before, right? And they always tell me they're proud of me, or they always tell me the super thank you, or they always like give me some big old smile, and then me and my husband proceed to go and win whatever we had already spent. We'll win it back every fucking time. Do I think that these people are real people? I mean, in the fact that they're really there, that I really handed them the money, yeah, but what do I really think they are? Is I think they're a divine test. I think that this is divine, literal divine test. It's a person, it's a flesh and blood person, it's somebody that other people would look away from. I'm here in Vegas, I'm there to spend money. I mean, at the time that I gave that one dude the money, I was wearing a camel skin coat. Those were like $1,000. I'm smoking a Dan's rolling up. That's like $120. I was wearing my fucking $200 chiseled like big old necklace that I have that's all silver. I was, you know what I mean? My nails were that long. I had rhinestones on them. I had everything I could want. And I'm thinking, man, I could go inside and spend this $20 and lose it. Or I could give it to that person over there and maybe they could eat tonight. And I chose that. But then when we went to go back to play, we were blessed on blessed on blessed on blessed on blessed. Now, do I look for homeless people to give them money thinking that I'm going to get a blessing every time? Fuck no. Does every person you give a homeless money to, or is every homeless person you give money to going to be thankful or going to be an angel or going to be a test? No, not at all. Not at all. But I do feel that I come across these more often than not because I am somebody who's constantly trying to level up my vibe. And I'll say this, with God, with the universe, no matter what God you're listening to, this is true for all of them. Once you know the rules, you have to follow the rules. Because if you know the rules and you're not following the rules, then you're fucking up. But if you know the rules and you follow them, then you get rewarded. If you don't know the rules and you don't follow them, you may or may not get punished. That's just kind of how it goes. So some people are like, oh, thanks, you maybe don't tell us what the rules are, that way we don't get punished. But it's like, it's a flip of the coin. And wouldn't you just rather know what to do? That way, when you're coming around, your own life and you hit these situations, you can go, okay, you know what? I'm having this feeling like I need to give that person money right there. I need to be nice to that person. I have a feeling I need to compliment that person. I have a feeling I need to, just smile at that person or make that person's day a little bit better. Those are little tests just to see about your humanity, just to see who you are. And if you pass your test, you will get rewarded almost instantly. Okay. There was this man recently when I was getting stuff for Robbie's birthday, and he was at the Boba Pub, and before I even walked up to him, as soon as I got out of the car, I knew I wanted to give that man $5 at least. And when we walk up, he's like, "Excuse me, miss, if you could just spare a few cents, I would really appreciate it." And he said super nonchalant, and I said, "Oh no, sir, yeah, that's fine. Just let me go inside first." TMI, but like I had enough money for Robbie's Boba Pub to go buy like Dollar Tree tampons because I didn't have enough money afterwards to go buy my organic ones that I normally would do. And then I was hoping to have a couple bucks left over to give to this guy. So I literally had $7 after the Boba Pub, and I thought, okay, I only need like $1.25 because I was getting paid the next day, so I could get like better stuff the next day, but that's all the money I had for that day. So I'm like, okay, how do I get through this fucking day, make his birthday worth it, and still whatever. So I still wanted to give the guy the money. I knew I only needed $1.25 for me. I could have given him the $2 and kept the $5 for me, but I knew I only needed $1.25 for me, so I gave him the $5. And he's like, "That's too much. This is all the money you have." And I said, "Yeah, that's true, but that's fine. I've got more coming. Don't worry about it." And he says, "Well, this money is too much." He's all, "But you know what? You're really a goddess and you're a true queen." And he's like, "And you're very nice." And he's like, this friend, and I was with a friend I had been friends with forever, right? He's like, "You've been friends with her forever." He's like, "But you guys actually keep each other's nice. She keeps you from turning dark." He's like, "You actually have a lot of power. But if you weren't friends with her, you'd turn dark pretty quick because the world's pretty cruel to you, isn't it?" And he like went on this whole, he talked to us for like 5 or 6 minutes, and everything out of that man's mouth was prophecy. Every fucking thing out of his mouth was prophecy. He knew too much about me. Too fucking much. He knew too much about her. Too fucking much. And we do not look like the same type of person. She wears like airbender t-shirts with like, animes on it, and her hair in a ponytail. I wear like a lavish random, like we're two different fucking people. There's no way you could look at us and be like, "Oh yeah, all this shit off the top of your head," unless you actually had some things like that. "Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you." So anyway, so that's pretty cool. I do believe that we do get divine messages all the time from people that are homeless or under the weather, or people that we normally wouldn't give the time of day to. And when you are kind to those people, and I'm not saying every single homeless person is an angel. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that. I have given money and food to plenty of so many people that have like flipped me off and showed me their dick after and done weird shit. Okay, that we all have had bad experiences, but I've also had really good experiences like that one. So I do feel like when you feel the compulsion to, okay, I need to go help this person, you really, really, really should help that person. I won't say names, but I'm going to tell the story that my other friend went through. So my other friend's wife was constantly in and out of the hospital, and one time he was visiting her in the hospital, and he went, as he's walking in, these two boys were walking out, and they start laughing, and they say, "Hey sir, I just need 16 cents. Could you give me 16 cents? And him, being kind of in a gruff mood, was like, "No, fuck you. I don't have anything," and he went inside. Well, when he was walking out of the hospital, he stuck his hand in his pocket, and he had exactly 16 cents to the penny in his pocket. Exactly 16 cents. He failed, and he knows he failed. He told me, "Boy, I failed." And I'm all, "Did you feel it out in the following days?" He's all, "Dude, I still feel it." The 16 cents didn't matter. It was the act of charity. It was the act of compassion. And those two boys were a test. Those were a divine test. So sometimes divine timing and divine tests and divine inspiration comes from, seeing a butterfly or seeing an animal or, seeing a number or hearing a word or whatever. Sometimes it comes from a physical fucking person, and we just have to like kind of keep our eyes open and be like, okay, this is possible. There are people out here that are more than what meets the eye, Okay, now going on numbers, a lot of us do see numbers on repeat, and we're thinking, what are those? What do those even mean? Now, I implore you, if you're seeing a number in your life on a constant repeat, please go look it up. Just go onto Google and be like, this number, spiritual meaning, or this number, what do they call angel number, or, they've got different ways that they call it. They call them angel numbers, manifestor numbers. Anyways, I implore you to look them up. 1111 is a big one with twin flames, and people are like, okay, well, what is 1111? That's basically saying focus on the positive things. If you're seeing 1111 pop up, that's your guardians and guides trying to say, look, things are going on a path. You want to make sure you're focusing on the positive things on those paths. As long as your heart and your mind is on the positive, whether the positive's going on or not, that's going to funnel it towards those positive expectations and bringing them into light and making them real. So if you're like, okay, maybe you're starting a business, or you're going back to school, or you're starting a new relationship, or you're mending an old relationship, or finally picking back up a hobby, or you're working out, or whatever it is that you're doing, you start seeing 1111 all the time, and maybe things are kind of difficult for you, but you're trying and it's in your heart to make it better. That 1111 is saying, look, just focus on what's right, not on what's wrong, and keep going. Keep on the train track, keep moving forward, because positive things are on the way. Luck is around the corner. So now if we think about the letters 11, or the numbers 11, that is new beginnings and a new phase of life with positive events. So when we see 11 all the time repeating in our life, that's telling us, look, there's something new coming around the corner. There's positive changes in our life. There's a new horizon, there's a new beginning, but we have to keep our eyes open. And also, if something new is being presented to you and you're longing for change, and somebody new comes into your life and you start putting on the resistors and the brakes, and you're like, okay, yeah, I know I want something new in my life, I know I want better friends, I know I want more money, and I know these people are coming into my life, and you're just like 100% putting on the brakes because you don't even want to give it the time of day, you don't want to see where it goes, you don't want to know if they're gonna screw you over, or if they're gonna be friends or not. You just don't even want to try. You're blocking anything from happening. You're blocking any of the positive changes, because whether the relationship's gonna last or not, you need it to happen. It's part of where you need to go. And if we cycle it down to the one is the self, the one is mastery, the one is God, the one is the universe. Okay, so when we're taking that number and we're going, okay, if you're seeing one all the time, maybe you're working on yourself. Maybe you need to get a closer connection with God. Maybe that's God's way of saying, look, you need to spend a little bit of time in solitude and let it be okay. Not worry about cramming every moment of every day, fulfilling it with other people in your life and working on their problems and their items, because you think that that's going to fulfill you somehow. But when you come back home, you still have things you need to do in your day that you didn't get done, right? So instead, focus on yourself. When you start seeing the 11, that's like, okay, well, now we got new beginnings. Things are positive. Things are rolling around. You know, this is a new chapter of our life. When you start seeing the 1111, it's like, okay, we're on a roll. Things are really starting to get going, but we need to make sure that we stay positive, and we need to make sure that we keep our little blinders on and keep heading towards the goal, because there might be something to try to throw us off our track, but it's part of the deal, because it's like nothing good comes without something bad, right? You can't see the light without the dark, and the positive without the negative, and all that bullshit, right? So okay, another one that a lot of people are seeing is 222. So you see, 222 or 222, that's balance and harmony. It's time to be self-reflective. And it's the duality of things. So if you're in a problem or a part of your life where you start seeing 222 all the time, there is a duality there. You might be mirroring a positive or negative aspect of something that you have going on, or you might be focusing on a positive or negative aspect somebody else has going on, and you need to really see the duality in it. See that there's aspects of positive and negative for both people and both outcomes. Also find the balance and harmony within yourself. Try to be a little bit more easy on yourself. I'm really like a workaholic, really hardcore. I drive myself 24/7. If I'm not typing, I'm writing. If I'm not writing, I'm researching. If I'm not researching, I'm creating. If I'm not creating, I'm hustling and selling. If I'm not hustling and selling, I am crying. I'm just kidding. No, seriously though, I'm constantly, I'm on the hustle 24/7, and if I'm not making something, I'm selling something, and if I'm not selling something, I'm making something, or I'm researching something new. I'm always studying, I'm always doing it. So giving myself balance and harmony, letting myself rest. I see 222 all the time when I'm at that point where my fibro is about to take me over the edge. And that's kind of the universe telling me, Shayna, you've been overworking, you need to calm down before you kind of stress yourself out, So for me, I've learned that 222 isn't just the mothering aspect of the universe, which it is, right? It's also the universe saying, hey, time for you to do that self-care and that self-love. Now, for me, I see 33 all the time. Now, it's true I own the LLC, the 33. It's true my husband and I are opening the 33. It's true that I've been in the haunt industry my entire life. But 33 stands for mastering, right? But it also stands for helping others and being kind of a servant to others. So, like, a true master does serve others. You know, that's the whole thing. It's like, a good king is, like, nice to his pupils and disciples and shit like that. If you're seeing 33 all the time, that's like your creativity needs to take center stage. You need to let your artistic side shine through. You need to allow, your mastery of something to be shared with others. You need to allow unity to happen, maybe bringing other people into the creativity. And so that's a number that I see all the time. Again, that's a reason, in a way, for me to understand where I am energetically within the universe. And it's kind of like a way that God can talk to me throughout the day and say, hey, this is where we're at. Maybe it's time for some self-care. Or, hey, let's pick up that creativity a little bit more. Or, hey, it's time to spend a little bit of time by yourself, because you need to recharge on that level. Now, when my dad died, I started seeing all kinds of really, really, really weird numbers. And then I started writing them down because I was like, okay, these aren't our normal numbers. I saw 666, which is whatever, 999, 1441, so 1441, 2222, 7227. Now, aren't those weird? Okay. So the 666 was need to pay attention to your spiritual journey, strive for balance in all areas of your life, release negative thoughts that hold you back, embrace a positive attitude, and put importance on romantic life. Let go of fantasies and distractions, and work towards financial goals, existing opportunities, and improve your functional. Define work towards financial goals on existing opportunities to improve your financial situation. So it was telling me, basically, I can't let the negative hold me down. I need to focus on the relationship I do have, which is with my husband. I was like really upset when my dad died. I knew that my dad was going to die. I had been actively looking for him. I told Robbie I just want to see him one more time. I didn't know he was sick or anything. Like, I just knew that if I saw him one time, that would be the last time I'd ever see him. So I was on this like manhunt for him. The week that I got the phone call that he had been found dead in an abandoned building was the same week I was supposed to actually get to see him and hug him and forgive him and talk to him and all that kind of shit. So it left a huge hole in my heart. And then going back and forth with okay, well, your dad did leave you guys. He did choose drugs and hookers and shit over you. All these different things, going like, oh, feeling bad and pitiful, like, oh man, I should have done more as a daughter, and then being like, well, he was the dad, and going back and forth on all this. So I had a lot of emotions going through, and when I was seeing 666 all the time, it telling me I need to pay attention to my spiritual journey and strive for balance in my life. It really meant a lot to me, because I was thinking, yeah, you're right, I do, and focus on the relationships that are there for me, because my father, he was there for me when I was young, but then it's like puberty happened and he was like, fuck y'all, and he took off, right? So it's like focusing on the relationships that I actually have. That was what was important. 999 was completion. Completion on your current circumstances. Things must come to an end in order for new opportunities to present themselves. Associated with death of a person, as well as the symbolic closure and a new beginning. And I was seeing 999 everywhere, so that was basically saying, yeah, your dad's dead, but you also don't have to worry about him when it's raining anymore, and you also don't have to look for him every time you see a tent, and you also don't have to try to hurry up and make $1 million so you can save him, which was really my life goal. I've been trying to be rich for as long back as I can remember, literally so I could save my family, so I could help my dad and how I could help my mom. And I haven't done much living for myself because I've been so focused on that for them. So this was the universe trying to tell me, hey, let's reel it in. Okay, this chapter's closed. Let's focus on something new for you. 1441 was hope and optimism for future endeavors. Trust the process. Have faith. Divine timing. Remain calm. Don't lose hope. Great rewards are inbound. So it's just telling me like to just remain optimistic. Like, yeah, I know it feels like the world's closing in on you. I know you lost your father, but you need to try to remain positive. And every reading I had, which I didn't ask for any, but people kept giving them to me, every single one of them told me I was not allowed to really mourn. I had to just kind of pick up and keep moving on. So the God was really telling me, like, you have to not let yourself spiral down out of control like you always do when someone dies. I will be useless for a year if somebody dies, like minimum. And this time it said you're not allowed to do that anymore. You're too old for that. You need to just keep on keeping on. 2222 was good things are on the way. Peace, even love are a part of your future. My team of angels attempting to guide me in a positive way that will impact my journey. Sensitivity and intuition. Okay. And I mean, that was just in general. 2 in general. So if 1 is the Father, 2 is the Mother, 3 is the child, right? But 3 is also the Trinity and the Holy Divinity and, you know, Maiden Mother Crone and all that. But so the 2222, you're always kind of on a mothering aspect if you're seeing that many 2s. There's always some sort of lesson or comforting that has to come from it. And then 7227 was let go of doubt and stay true to yourself. Embrace opportunities that come your way. You're capable of manifesting what you desire. It's time for the universe to trust in timing. And there was like a lot of other things too, but I'll just stop there on that. Just to kind of tell you. So when you are seeing things on repeat, okay, it could be an animal too, but let's just stay on the numbers for right now. Say you're seeing one of these numbers or any number, any sequence of number, no matter what the sequence is, write it down, go look it up, because that is the easiest way for the universe to communicate with you. It's up to you to notice the number. It's notice for you. It's up to you to notice the sequence and the pattern. But if you can do that and you can harness that down, then the universe will say, hey, here you go. Here's this information. You were lost, and I'm telling you that it's okay that you feel that way, but you need to, you know, stay true to yourself right now, or, you know, keep your chin up. I know you feel like going deep in the dumps, but you can't right now. You have to allow yourself to kind of grow and push past this. So that's one of the easiest ways. Another way is for animals. When my Sydney Wiggles, my boxer, was dying, I started seeing elephants everywhere. I was seeing elephants everywhere. I've seen them in my dreams. I've seen them on movies. I've seen them on cards. I've seen them everywhere in your food. I could take a drink of something and there'd be like an elephant looking back at me. So I started doing research on the elephant. The elephant was about matriarchy, about the mother, about loss, about family, about protection of the family, about keeping together the family, about wisdom of how to obtain water, which is like huge. It just basically means you know where the treasure is and you're willing to do anything to get your family there. It went on and on and on and on and on. After she died, it was the tiger. I was seeing tigers everywhere. Tigers are about being solitary, about being lonely, about being at peace with being alone, about being just really in your own skin and comfortable being in your own skin, about being very elusive, you know? And so these things kept changing, and they were really coming into contact with me as I needed them. And since those times, I call it different levels. Right now I'm on level goose. Got goose going on. And so when you see these different animals coming at you all the time, do your research. What is the animal significance? What's the spiritual significance of this animal? What is the animal totem? What is the animal messenger meaning? You can just like Google, or, you know, hit me up. I'll help you. This one time when Sydney ran away, so Sydney was not a runawayer, but I left the gate open and I had left. So she went to go look for me. My eyes were peeled and I was just hoping I didn't see her on the side of the road. And I was just like literally terrified looking for this dog. And we had went everywhere. I had called all the different pounds and I had almost given up. Then all of a sudden we're driving by this house and it's got all these people in painters outfits. They had like little white suspender pants, you know, like what do you call those? Overalls with little blue shirts, like light blue, and a little white painter cap. And they had ladders and 5-gallon paint buckets and sticks with the little rollers on them, and they had paintbrushes, and there was a van, and there was stuff and people everywhere. There was like 10 or 12 people running around this yard, right? They literally see us driving, they start flagging us down. My friend pulls up to him and they're like, "Excuse me, are you looking for your boxer?" "Oh my God, yes." And they're like, "Oh, she's just right around the corner. If you go right now, you'll catch up with her." And I was like, "Thank you so much." We literally go around the corner. There's Sydney. I call for her. She's all, "Oh." She runs into the truck. Get her in the truck. She's safe. We turn right back around. We go right there. They are gone. They're gone. There's nobody there. There's not a van. There's not a bucket. There's not a man. There's not a ladder. There's nothing. There's not a drop cloth. There's nothing. I mean, they had shit everywhere. They were full blown everywhere. Not even 3 minutes had passed. I am not joking. Not 3 minutes had elapsed. They were gone. Completely gone. To this day, I say those were angels. They were literally there to catch my attention, to flag us down, to tell me where my dog was. You can't convince me otherwise. And then, okay, so another time when I was in my car accident, I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have a camera. I didn't have any kind of way to communicate with anybody. My Jeep had flipped 3 times in the air. Well, I had been hit in my passenger side door. The passenger seat had been squished all the way to the back of my Jeep. I was pinned in between my first door and my driver door. The Jeep flipped 3 times in the air. My head came out of the window. Everybody says I was decapitated. Everybody, and there was many witnesses, says I was decapitated. But here is my head. It is on my body. Another reason I believe in multiverse, right? Because I'm pretty sure I am decapitated in a different fucking realm. But anyways, everybody says they saw my head come out of the window before I landed on top of the car, the other truck, and got decapitated. And then my Jeep flipped and then landed on the driver's side door facing the opposite direction of the way that I was driving. And I had no gas in the car. I was going to get gas at the Vallejo just the next block over. So the whole time I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to explode. What's up, Gabe? So anyways, I'm like, no one knows how I got out of this truck. Nobody fucking knows. But I remember a guy from here down wearing a blue Dickies jumpsuit and him telling me, don't worry, your mom's on your way, everything's gonna be fine, whatever. Nobody knows how I got out of the Jeep. Nobody knows how I'm alive. Not fucking one person. My mom, she said somebody called her, but when we went back to the house, there was no phone call, and we had to call her ID. There was no phone call. It's like it never happened. So I feel like that was an angel. Nobody knows how I got out of the car. I basically came out with no scratches, except for like one little cut on my arm that didn't even make sense. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. So that's just another thing of like divine protection. Why was I divinely protected? We don't really know. Maybe so that I could help people in the future, or maybe so I could tell you guys about it and have you guys have your own experiences later in life. I don't really know. But I do know that the amount of times I should have been dead, it's up there. If I was a cat with 9 lives, we're well past 9 lives. Like, we are well past 9 lives. And I still keep ticking. So, that's basically that, everybody. If you've been here for the 38 minutes, I appreciate you. If you haven't, I'm going to save it. I'm going to post it. But basically, it comes down to this. Sometimes we are given signs and signals, and it's something repeated to us. It could be a name, it could be a number, it could be an animal, it could be a smell, it could be a flower. And it's up for us to pay attention and research what those things mean. The closer we get to our connection to the divine, the more we're gonna instantly kind of see something as a sign and be like, I bet you that's a sign. And the more you research them, the more they're gonna stay with you. Like, I don't have to research every number every time I see it. I just see the number and I'm like, oh, they're telling me to keep going, or oh, they're telling me I need to take some me time, or oh, they're telling me that, you know, don't worry right now, the money's coming, but I need to rest, you know? And it gives me peace of mind throughout my life. And they're never wrong. It's always right. Every time I listen, life follows suit just like that. So, yeah, and then be nice to people, especially people who look like they are degenerate or homeless or whatever, because I do believe that a lot of times they are angels. Not every time. I live near Parkway too. I know that there's real hookers and real fucking homeless people. But sometimes you run into people who they're there to test you. 100%. So when you know, okay, I've got $3 in my pocket, but you don't really need the $3, but that person needs the $3, give the $3. I promise you'll get $60 before the end of the day's up. But if you hold on that $3, that'll be the $3 you're holding on to for months. Seriously, that's how that shit goes. Okay. Hey. Sorry you caught me here at the end. I am going to save it and all this. So yeah, if your clock broke on 111, then that's basically the universe screaming at you that, like, girl, change is here, change is now, we gotta, like, get this change going. Stay positive, keep thinking about good things, and good things are gonna come to you. Alright, everybody, it's up, Dope Ass, what was it, Dope Ass Pony? Nay! It's my little pony feet. I hope you enjoyed that. My llama face. Sometimes when I want to get sexy with Robbie, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And then I'll go, and he'll be like, ugh. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was that. If you guys like that, thank you so much. I know it was 40 minutes. That was a long time. I am going to post it. So if you didn't get to watch it from the beginning, please do. But that's it. All right. Let me know if you guys have questions. DM me. Alrighty then. Thank you. Bye.